Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And what I like to do, something unusual for media, is congratulate the voters and the volunteers. Most of people take voting here in the United States, for granted. Well, I'll go. I gotta make the macaroni and cheese, drop the baby off. Excuses are being made many, many times. And they don't realize when you uh, look around the world how people are dying for an opportunity, how individuals right here in the United States, they fought and our forefathers died for the right to vote. So I like to commend the voters of Prince George's County for the outstanding job they did, and most of all, the volunteers. The volunteers rarely get any credit. They're out there hawking their candidates. They're out there 8, 10 hours setting up. They're doing a lot of things, and this is the American way. And what bothers me is when individuals use excuses for not voting. The voting is the most important thing that you can do because it affects everything that you do, your automobile, your house, your salary, your job, everything. So those individuals that volunteered for their candidates, Ed Brown like to salute you for the fine job that you've done in this past election. I visited some of the polls. I saw a lot of things that were happening. I saw parents dragging their kids, which was very important, to the polls. I saw volunteers involved, and they had their children involved in the precious idea of voting. We take it for granted. We make excuses. We talk about it. We say what we're going to do. And then what we do, the ones that didn't vote, you look yourself in the mirror. Why didn't you vote? Why didn't you take an opportunity to go and vote? Around the world, people are still dying just to vote. I mean, dying. And we had an example, and most of you have it in your background where your parents, your grandparents didn't have the opportunity that you have now. You have the opportunity. What have you done with it? Did you vote? That's the thing I'm trying to let people know. And did you volunteer? There's no money in volunteering. You're out there supporting a candidate of your choice. That's your right. But when you stay away from the polls, you are annihilating that right. What you're doing is a possibility you might lose it because you get the wrong group, the wrong person in there, and then you will have problems. Then you start to complain about the government is not doing this, the government is not doing that. But what have you done? Did you participate in this past election? Did you expose your children to the most important thing that we have here in this United States, in Prince George's County? The volunteers did an excellent job for all the candidates, win or lose. They were out there the great American way. They were out there eating sandwiches. They were there talking, and actually the opposition they weren't hostile. They were out there enjoying themselves because they felt that this was the American way. And when you abuse this right and you actually dishonor the past and your relatives, your grandparents who sacrificed in order for you to have the opportunity to vote and volunteer. I'm talking about the volunteer because a lot of people, they sit at home, they let somebody else do it, you know. But generally, those are the individuals that complain the most, the ones that sit at home, don't participate. You have a right, and you have to start using it. And then you got to get your youngsters involved. Wasn't enough youngsters out there. Not very few people, they brought their kids, But I think it's important that you expose your youngsters to volunteering for the polls, volunteering for some candidate, no matter who it is or what the idea is. The idea is that you have to participate. And what are you going to do? Your child, they see you laying around making excuses for not going to the poll. Some people, they had legitimate excuses, work, sickness, and things of that nature. But the vast majority of the turnout wasn't that great. But what happens in situations like that? We get someone in office that somebody out there is going to complain about everybody that was elected. There's something about them that they didn't do that you didn't like or whatever. But what are you going to do? You're going to sit at home? You're going to support the person that you're out there hawking for? Or what are you going to do? You're just going to drop out and wait to the next 2 years or wait to November, then go out again? Are you participating in your government? Are you giving back? These are things that you have to think about. And the youngsters, they have to be in an environment like that, where you are showing them the American way. And I just watched the news from the various countries, how people are dying in the street with opportunity. They don't have the type of government that we have. We're blessed to have a government here. It's not perfect. Oh, way not perfect. There's a lot of things that we need to do to make the government better. And the only way you're going to do that, hey, you got to get out and participate. You got to volunteer, and then what you got to do. A lot of people say, no, I don't want to get into politics. Well, politics is your life, whether you like it or not. That is your life here. It determines what kind of job you get, what kind of money you make, what kind of house you live, what kind of car you drive, all of those things. I think all of those things are important to you. Your education, all of that's controlled by the ballot. And like I say, the individuals that took the time to sacrifice to participate in the election with their vote and volunteer to support a candidate. The candidates, they're not perfect. They don't walk on water. None of them do. They make mistakes. But is it up to you as voters and volunteers to keep them straight? The only way you can do that, you got to be involved. Many of you are not involved because of the fact that you take the attitude, they're going to do anything they want anyway. My vote is not going to count, making excuses. Whereas around the world, and you watch television, you listen to the radio, you see so many things happening in other countries that the people are dying for a democratic government. We don't have a perfect democratic government here, but we are working on it. And the main thing, in order to make it better, you got to do your share. You can't sit at home. You got to participate. You have to give back to the country. You got to give back to the county. I know they had a unity breakfast there in Washington, D.C., where the two candidates for mayor, they had a breakfast. And they were trying to illustrate to their workers and the voters that only the way that we're going to get things done is through unity. Sure, the losers feel bad, there's no doubt about it. But what happens? You keep trying and trying and trying again. You don't give up, because what you're doing, you're preparing your country, your children, for a better future, when you dedicate yourself to participate in the electric system that we have here in Prince George's County in the United States. Hey, we are way, way, way away from a true democracy. But the main thing about that is that we're trying. And that's what we have to continue to do. And we have to think in terms of the future. We have to show the young people the proper thing to do. We have to set examples. And like I said, the volunteers, the candidates, they all did a terrific job. Were you part of it? Did you stay at home and make excuses? I don't know. Look in the mirror. Did you do anything? And when you volunteer, you don't necessarily, you get paid in so many other ways, because then you know about your government. You make your neighborhood better. You make your job opportunities better. All of those things, because you are well known in the neighborhood, and the people there know that you're on top of things. How many times that you want to find out something, you say, well, I want to go see Joe Blow there. He's on top of all this. How many times that happened? And many times voters said, oh, no, I'm not going to vote because I don't know all of them. I never heard of him. Why? You got to do your homework too. That's what people fail to do. They fail to do their homework. They're inundated by program-managed news from the media. And that happens on all levels, on the national level, state level, county level, city level, town level. The same thing happens as people actually, they fail to get involved in their own community. And that's what you have to do. And if you want your children to do it, you got to show them, not by talking, by action. You said you don't have time. They give you so much time. You have time for everything else. You have time for your, what about your health? You think about that. Can you afford the health situation that we have here? Can you afford not to get involved? What about that development they're going to put next to yours? Yeah, you know what I mean? That sewage plant. What about that different development they're going to do in your neighborhood? Do you get involved in that? No, you don't get involved in that. Why should you? Let somebody else do it. You know, and that's the problem. When you let somebody else do it, they don't do it your way. They do it their own way. And when they're out there hawking, supporting someone, it's because they have faith in that individual that he's going to bring them something, or she's going to bring them something that they need and that they want. Not sit at home and wait for them to. You evaluate your own system. Take time to do it. When the last time have you volunteered for anything? You're too busy. You're too busy. You say working. Well, I got my mama to take care. I got 3 kids. I got this. You make excuses. It's no excuse for not volunteering and voting, getting involved in the system that our forefathers died for. So I mean, this is so very important to me. And I think the young people, you too, show some initiative. Get involved in the system as far as the voters is concerned, as far as the issues are concerned. I know the young people, they have an agenda too. There's a lot of things that they don't like.